Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another episode here at the Debate Circle. We are in the Western region and we cannot wait to crown the champions for this particular region. And the motion of dissection reads, the Kenyan government should invest more in promoting skill acquisition and monetization avenues rather than solely focusing on university degrees. I'll read the motion of dissection again. The Kenyan government should invest more in promoting skill acquisition and monetization avenues rather than solely focusing on university degrees. Proposing and opposing this motion, we have the Salvation Army Mudavadi Girls High School and Friends School Vihiga High School. All the best to both teams. Team proposition, first speaker, you have 3 minutes.
Now, Mahatma Gandhi once said, peace begins with a smile. But I am not smiling this morning. Why am I not smiling this morning? Because I want to be like Jane Achieng. Like, I want to be like her. She's so perfect in what she does. But someone in here, someone is trying to make me not become like her because they're telling me I have to have, as they call them, papers to get there. Jessica Achieng on stage, here to strongly propose the motion that states the Kenyan government should invest more in promoting skill acquisition and monetization avenues rather than solely focusing on university degrees. Now, as I said, I want to be like Jane. But before I tell you how I want to be like her, let me personify this for you. The motion. What is skill acquisition? It's basically gaining knowledge on how to do something. Now, talent, all that. Monetization is basically turning something into something valuable. Now, in here, as they say, as they quote it, everyone has a talent. And I believe everyone believes that their talent is something that they value. I mean, who here thinks that your talent is not valuable? Everyone thinks that their talent is valuable. Now, my grandmother, God rest her soul in peace, once told me that always let a fish fly. Never force a fish to climb a tree. Never force a fish to fly. Let it swim. Let it swim. Don't force a fish to climb a tree. Now, why am I saying this? We are told that skill acquisition is not the way to go. Not really, they're not telling us that. They're trying to oppose the motion that we're bringing forward. As I said, skill acquisition is gaining talent or being better in what you do. Now, to my first point, entrepreneurship. It helps people get jobs. This is something you're good at. I'm good at speaking. You're good at teaching. You go teach somewhere, you're going to have some money. You go do something else somewhere, you're going to have some money. Now, let me take you to this. According to the Daily Nation on the 4th of July, 2024, it's evident that 24.8% of people are successful because of their own businesses with no education at all. This is someone earning cash money there and there with no education. You haven't taught me how to do business. I do not have a degree in business studies, but I am doing this. I am earning money for my family. Now, the 75.2%, don't worry about it really, because that's the Gen Z. We have certificates, or let me not say me, I'm not done with high school. They have certificates in their rooms, whatever. They have them laminated perfectly. They celebrate it. But where are the jobs? Where are the jobs? Where are they supposed to get these jobs if the people who are hired 20, 30 years ago do not have jobs already? Maybe that's too close to home. Let me take you to this, the United Nations. The United Nations probably tells us that from 2016 to where we are right now, the kind of money they have invested in giving us those degrees, we do not have them. Now, I'm not proposing this motion because I think it's right. I'm proposing because I know it's the way to go. Thank you for listening.
I take a look at this temporal chronological indicator of mine, and it saddens and diminishes the mood to find out that our opponents have wasted 3 of our minutes giving us nothing but rumors, conceptions, ideologies. And we need to remember, according to the wise words of Adolf Hitler, that the conception of a perception is a detonation leading to extinction. From what they're presented unto us, I don't think they had the hang of the motion, but they need not to worry. That is why I, Casting Orchestra, stand here strongly to help them understand some of the key terms in the motion, which states that the Kenyan government should invest more in promoting skill acquisition and monetization avenues rather than solely focusing on university degrees. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, that the 10th edition, it says that to invest is to spend money, resources, time, or effort on something to make it more successful, while skill acquisition, according to www.wikipedia, states that skill acquisition is the process of learning and developing specific abilities and competencies that can be applied in various fields, while monetization avenues refers to the various paths through which one can generate income or revenue from their talents without much dilly-dallying, because time is a scarce resource and it cannot be stored in sacks like charcoal. Allow me to move on to my first point. Limited scope. We need to remember that some skills require advanced knowledge, e.g., medicine, scientific research, and neurosurgeons, e.g., nurses, teachers as well. They say that we need to think outside the box, but I think it's high time we think outside the box. The government should not invest more in skill acquisition. Rather, it should invest equally in skill acquisition as well as it is investing in university degrees. Why am I saying this? 1 + 1 = 2. When we focus more on skill acquisition, the scale is here. That means that the scale is not balanced. But if we give both considerations on the same, that means that the skill will be balanced and the economy will move forward. My second point, transmission into different fields. When we focus more on skill acquisition, there will be a problem in the later days to come, when we want to move from one field to another. Take a good example of a teacher. A teacher can shift fields many times, can shift fields. Take a good example of a doctor. When a doctor is over 60 years of age, he or she can choose to become a lecturer. Is in that shifting skills. Well, allow me to give you my final conclusion. We need to consider SDG number 8, which says that decent work and economic growth. Let's give equal opportunities rather than to focusing more on skill acquisition rather than university degrees, because both are important. What good is a skilled patient without a doctor? As always, it has been I, the sophisticated, emblematic, erratic stunner, Kirsten Wekesa. Thank you for your time.
I woke up in a floxic mood, ready for this war, but seemingly the battle itself has not yet begun. I speak in silence, but my voice be heard to many. Palpitating the floor is Osiro Jail from the Great Salvation Army Mudavadi girls, ready to enlighten to you a motion that says, the Kenyan government should invest more in skill acquisition and monetization avenues rather than solely concentrating on university degrees. Point of correction, my fellow honorable. As you're speaking of skill acquisition is based on talents, and taking medicine is a career, which means you have to learn it. That is not a skill. It's not something that you are born with. You have to learn it. So that is not a skill. That brings me to my first point. I propose skill acquisition simply because it encourages local talent. Today, in our country today, 98% of the children of the generation in our country have got their own talents. Do you have a talent? Of course you have. It is just a matter of realizing it at an early stage and using it for the better. For example, my talent today has brought me to this debate. Today I'm standing on this podium because of my talent. So you see, we need skills. The government should invest more on skill acquisition rather than university degrees. Take a look at Kipchoge Keino, who has been greatly known for his talent. He has been an athlete that has made him become famous, not about his degrees. These degrees are only about papers. But today, even with evidence from the demonstrations that began on late June up to this July, whereby so many youths were outside demonstrating. And yet these are people who, some of them are graduates with degrees from universities, but yet they were outside there demonstrating. And what were some of the pleas that were calling on to the president? It is because they're not employed. And yet if they had their skills, if the government could have concentrated on their skills, these youths who are outside there have got potentials. They could have used that potentials that they have to contribute to the growth of our economy. Right now, the economy of Kenya is at a crisis. The finance bill, everything is at a crisis. There is a problem, and yet the government has not been able to realize that they need to tap on the potentials that the youth have. They need to use their skills. So you see, my fellow brethren, skills is what we need. Skill is all we need to navigate in this life successfully. Even if you have the papers, without the skill, you cannot get into that office. There is nothing you will say if you don't have the skills. As I leave this stage, I like to leave you with this saying, that you should ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Thank you.
Now, once PLO said that Africa is moving into the wrong direction in a supersonic speed because of the mere ideologies, misconceptions of Africans about success. And it is evident from our opponents here. Because Kipkeino is a runner. We don't give anything about it. But that one is a talent and not a skill. True or false? Because it is a talent, we are talking about skill accusation. Therefore, take a glance again for the motion. Now, the first speaker said that Kenya as a government should keep it a glance for us to balance the two. One, why? The regulation and standardization of the skills acquired, which leads to rapid expansion of these institutions, like the TVET. Now, let's take this picture in Sigalagala Polytechnic, just around here. It is a polytechnic that gives it is a polytechnic that gives us every kind of skill that we require. Now, the fact still remains that if these skills which are being taught to these people who want to acquire these skills, they don't have the university degrees, it will be not for them to have a good way. Therefore, it is necessary for us to know that the Kenyan government should give it a 50 plus 50 to make 100% for this economy of ours to grow. Secondly, there is networking opportunities in these universities. Evidently, we have seen it. In universities, we have so many networking activities. And again, in this thing called skill acquisition, they also have economic growth. And if we balance all them, we have a better country. Or, who is against the Vision 2030 of Kenya to have a better nation? No one. Therefore, if the country of Kenya as a government take a very good glance at this balancing the two, which is skill acquisition and this thing called university degrees, it will help both of us and all of us to make sure we have a better nation. Now, when we undermine higher education and solely emphasize on skill acquisition, the country will be moving 1,000 steps behind. Imagine 1,000 steps behind. We are going back to the Stone Age period. Imagine going back to a Stone Age period at this 21st century. Kenya is still a developing country. Now, in South Africa, it is one of the biggest production gold in this continent and also one of the biggest in the world. So, if these people, they give out a 54% degree university, and 46% of these people who are doing skill acquisition, if we balance them, we are on a better position. Therefore, my people, my judges, let us, all of us, make sure monetization avenues is reached because we have balanced this skill acquisition and university degrees for monetization avenues. For not more talking, I will make sure we do the best because the journey of mind liberation has just begun. Aluta, Continue.
Well, 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 it is what it is. My fellow parliamentarians, I would love to agree with you, but then we'd both be wrong. We need somebody to save the day, and that's absolutely me. From the Great Salvation Army Mudavadi Girls High School, here today is Ida Musimbi ready to propose the motion that states the Kenyan government should invest more in promoting skill acquisition and rather than solely focusing on university degrees. Before I give my first point, I'd like to correct my opponent here. We clearly heard him say that the government needs to balance. For the past years that we've been living here, the government has actually been concentrating on the university degrees, concentrating on papers. We all know of polytechnics. The government urged us students to concentrate more on learning in high school so that we can make it to university. Then after that, what happens? We get to university, we get out of university, we have masters, we have PhDs, but then we don't have employment, we lack jobs. Why is this? Because the schools are producing more graduates each year than the number of jobs it can cater for. So let's be realistic. We really need skill acquisition. Are we there? Now, to my first point, change of the job market. Kenya as it is right now, you will get employment, yes. Maybe you will get the papers, you will forge your way into the government and get employment. I do not disagree with that. But then, this employer will need somebody with skills. So you might be having the education, you might be having the degrees, but you will be lacking the skills for you to be able to manage that job and even get promotions. So you are basically telling me what I don't understand, that I need a university degree in order for me to make it in my own life. Not to forget that here we're talking about the Kenyan government. Consider me having skills that will empower me to venture into things that I want. I will have the skills, I will enlighten my people, they will love my job, I will explore my job, I will make it a large job, that this will foster international activities for the government. We were talking about the Kenyan government, let's not forget. This will earn the Kenyan government greater revenue. Kenya is fluctuating. We have education. Most of our leaders, they've gone to university. But what is happening to us right now? They're lacking the skills to even manage the country. No wonder Kenya as it is, we need skill acquisition. I'd also like to talk about what my fellow proposer here said. She clearly said, don't let a fish do what? Climb a tree. Do you know why we are saying this? We are saying this because I know I'm good in a particular thing. Let's say I'm good in arts without my art teacher, that is. I'm good in art. And then I'm good in art, yes, and then there is this other person that is educated. You know, somebody in class not concentrating because a teacher is making you learn chemistry, giving you problems. You cannot sleep well at night because you have a chemistry exam tomorrow, yet you have a skill. Let us be realistic. Let us work to our future. Have a nice day.
It is not good to have more doctors than farmers. I came here this morning when the mood was superclariphagistic, expeditious, filled with much exhilaration. But when my dynamic, magnanimous philosophers took the stage, they definitely made the mood to be somber and melancholy. First, allow me to cross-check what my opposing team said. If I clearly heard what the first speaker said, Mahatma Gandhi said, peace begins with a smile. According to my history knowledge, I simply know that those are the words of Mother Teresa. The second speaker said that we are here for a war. We are not here for a war. We are here for a discussion. You can simply agree with me. We are here for a discussion, not a war. The third speaker said that the government is solely focusing on developing or university degrees. Let me ask you a question. Many of you are from this area. You can simply agree with me that the government has raised the national status of Sigalagala National Polytechnic into the status of a university. Why am I saying this? No pen, no paper, but take a look at my hand. Alas, this is a weighing scale. When I put my hand on one side, it will definitely go down, and the other side will definitely rise up.
how about we remove the hand on this side and make the weighing scale balance? The government of Kenya is simply doing this simply because it has increased TVET institution numbers. In 2013, according to www.statistica.com, in 2013, there were 753 TVET institutions. But right now, take a look at our beautiful country of Kenya. There are possibly 2,401. What am I saying? The rarity of the spontaneous restitution does not allow this house not to be at par with SDG number 4, quality education, SDG number 8, decent work and growth and industry, SDG number 9, innovation and infrastructure. The government of Kenya is simply trying to make the weighing scale leveled by promoting such skills. Let me give you a case study. The technical and vocational education and training system in Germany. Germany's technical and vocational training education system is widely regarded as one of the best in the world. It provides a structured pathway for young people to acquire practical skills while integrating them into the labor market, which leads to dual education system, strong industrial linkages, high employment rates. The case of which I'm trying to present is that all of this will simply lead to adaptability to technological challenges. As technology evolves, the government should simply try to make the balance of the weighing scale equal. The government of Kenya should solely promote such skills, strengthening TVET programs, promote entrepreneurship, enhance credit certification and accreditation, public awareness campaigns, government and industry development. Before I take my seat, no need to rack your brains, because I'm here. When I take a look at your faces, there is no foothold for youthhood, for a handhold of hope, but the whole ramifications is nothing but their whole idea. I simply not agree with them, but let us take it a study of this. It has been the confucius mangulatory evaluation. Before I rest my case, thoughts leads to purpose. Purpose before action. Action form our habits. Habits form our character and our desire. And those are the wise words of Trevor Adams. Oops, I happen to be Trevor Adams. Thank you.
Once again, back to the podium. Point of correction. The 54th quote of Mahatma Gandhi clearly states what my fellow debater said. Please do your correct research before you counteract. And then you mentioned about polytechnics. Polytechnics, or those who are in polytechnics is all about skill acquisitions. People with polytechnics are the people who comes up with example like the one who came up with the project in Mumia's factory, in Mumia's sugar factory, whereby they were able to use burgers. I hope you know what burgers is, whereby they were able to use burgers to empower their machines. That was a young man named Robinson who came up with that plan, who came up with that project, and was able to help Mumia's sugar to save on electric cost. And point to note, the Kenyan government today has already decided on the right way to go by bringing on CBC, competency-based curriculum education, which is based on skill acquisition. Hence, there's no point of us debating because clearly the county is on our side. So please, my fellow opponents, come cross the line and join us so that we can be realistic on whatever we say.
As I said earlier, it appears like our opponents did not get the hang of the motion from what they have presented before us. We are saying that the government needs to consider both skill acquisition and monetization avenues, as well as the university degrees. Because when you put a degree and a skill together, then that is the way forward. The first speaker from the opposite, from our opponent said that she said she wants to be like Joanne. Then you wanted to be like Jane. Then you can be like Jane when you get a degree in communication. Chase your dreams. No one is preventing you from chasing your dreams. I urge this house, in conclusion, to cross over onto our side and support the motion strongly. As always, once again, it has been the sophisticated, emblematic, erratic stunner, casting. Wekesa, thank you for your time.
And we'll move straight to the judges' results. The judges have awarded the Salvation Army Mudavadi girls with 68%. A round of applause, please, for the Salvation Army Mudavadi girls. And the judges have awarded Friends School Vihiga High School with 68.8%, making Friends School Vihiga High School the winners of this round. A round of applause, please, for Friends School Vihiga High School. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. We have come to the end of yet another episode here at the Debate Circle. Remember to check our social media handles for more of this content. That is at the Debate Circle on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, on X, as well as on TikTok. I have been your host, Jana Cheng, and until next time, it's goodbye from us.